What if the biggest superstar on the planet suddenly transformed a glamorous concert into a political battleground? Picture this. As thousands eagerly await Beyoncé's performance in a dazzling arena, she steps forward, not to serenade them, but to unleash a searing, unscripted political tirade that shatters the night's enchantment. Can you imagine the shock, the uproar, and the relentless buzz that would follow? Get ready to dive into the chaos of one unforgettable evening, where the stage became a platform for revolution, and the world was left gasping for answers. It was an electric evening in downtown Los Angeles. The venue, an architectural marvel with sweeping curves and glittering LED displays, was packed to capacity for what was billed as an exclusive, international gala concert by Beyoncé. The air buzzed with anticipation as fans, celebrities, and dignitaries from around the globe gathered for a night that promised transcendent music, dazzling choreography, and an immersive experience that only Beyoncé could deliver. In the hours leading up to the show, the venue was a hive of activity. Backstage, the corridors were lined with impeccably dressed crew members and stylists, while security teams moved with practiced precision. The scent of expensive perfumes and freshly pressed designer clothes mingled with a lingering aroma of gourmet catering. Yet, amid all the glitz and glamour, an undercurrent of tension was quietly building, a tension that very few could have predicted would soon burst forth onto the main stage. Beyoncé herself arrived at the venue in a sleek black limousine, flanked by her closest confidants and advisors. Known not only for her chart-topping hits, but also for her passionate advocacy on social issues, she was no stranger to using her platform to make statements. However, tonight was meant to be different. It was supposed to be a celebration of art, unity, and the transformative power of music. Little did anyone know that what was about to unfold would challenge that narrative in ways that would spark debate across political and media landscapes. As the final notes of the opening act faded and the stage lights dimmed in preparation for Beyoncé's entrance, a hush fell over the audience. The energy was palpable, a collective heartbeat that quickened in anticipation of the performance. The live broadcast cameras zoomed in on the stage as the grand curtain slowly parted, revealing Beyoncé standing at the edge of the stage. Clad in an elegant, custom-made ensemble that combined futuristic design with a nod to historical regal attire, she exuded an aura of quiet authority. For a few precious moments, there was silence. Then, as the opening chords of her anticipated hit began to fill the air, Beyoncé paused. Instead of launching into her set, she took a deep breath and addressed the audience directly. "Good evening," she began, her voice both gentle and resolute. "Tonight, I want to share something with you that goes beyond music. I want to speak to you about the state of our world." The statement sent a ripple of murmurs through the crowd. Some initially assumed it was part of an elaborate artistic performance, a prelude to a dramatic conceptual piece. But as Beyoncé's words grew more pointed, it became clear that this was no scripted interlude. With measured cadence, she launched into a passionate diatribe on political injustice, economic inequality, and the erosion of democratic values in the modern era. Her monologue was incisive and unflinching. "We live in times where the voices of the marginalized are drowned out by the noise of corruption and greed," she declared, her eyes blazing with intensity. "Every day, ordinary people face barriers that are designed to keep them down, to silence them, to strip away their dignity. Tonight, I stand before you not just as an artist, but as someone who refuses to be silent in the face of injustice." Her words, layered with both personal conviction and historical resonance, echoed throughout the cavernous arena. At first, the audience sat spellbound, caught between admiration for her courage and uncertainty over the abrupt shift in tone. But as Beyoncé's rhetoric grew bolder, so too did the reaction in the crowd. A section of the audience erupted into applause, their cheers echoing like a rally cry for change. Others, however, began to jeer and shout dissent, their voices intermingling with the cheers to create a discordant chorus. The once unified energy of the gala splintered into factions, as the political implications of her words sank in. Within seconds, the live broadcast transformed the event into a global spectacle. Social media platforms lit up with real-time commentary. Tweets, Instagram stories, and Facebook posts flooded in from every corner of the globe. Hashtags like #BeyoncéSpeaksOut, #GalaRevolt, and #StandUpNow trended almost immediately. The raw emotion of the moment was captured by countless onlookers, and clips of Beyoncé's impassioned speech spread like wildfire, each sharing her message far beyond the confines of the venue. As the chaos on social media grew, the gala's organizers scrambled to regain control of the situation. Stage managers and security personnel attempted to usher the performance back on track, but the atmosphere had irrevocably changed. Rather than transitioning into a musical set, Beyoncé continued her address. "This is not about politics as usual," she insisted. "This is about our collective future, our responsibility to each other, and to the generations yet to come." Her eyes scanned the crowd, and for a moment, the myriad of expressions in the audience, ranging from fervent approval to startled confusion, seemed to merge into a single, potent call for action. "I challenge you," she declared, "to open your hearts and your minds. Do not let fear or apathy silence you. Stand up, speak out, and be the change you wish to see." Her voice, steady and unwavering, resonated with the conviction of someone who had long been a voice for the voiceless. The reaction was instantaneous and overwhelming. The live broadcast cut to split screens showing various segments of the audience, some visibly moved to tears, others clapping and chanting, while a vocal minority booed and waved signs in protest. The chaotic interplay of cheers and jeers provided an unfiltered snapshot of the polarized political landscape of the modern world. Backstage, the tension was equally palpable. Producers and event coordinators exchanged frantic whispers, trying to figure out how to salvage the planned musical performance. Some argued that the protest was a masterstroke of authenticity and bravery, while others feared that the unexpected political outburst would alienate sponsors and upset the carefully cultivated image of the event. The pressure mounted as the live broadcast continued, and every passing second brought more global attention to the unfolding drama. Meanwhile, Beyoncé, ever the consummate professional, maintained her composure. After an extended monologue that seemed to defy the scripted nature of most live performances, she finally signaled that she was ready to transition into the musical segment. The stage lights shifted subtly, and a backdrop of shifting projections filled with images of unity, struggle, and hope replaced the stark political statements that had just ignited the room. Her band, which had been silent in the tense moments prior, began tuning their instruments. The first notes of her new song, a powerful ballad that wove themes of resistance and resilience into a soaring melody, broke through the residual tension. For those who had come expecting a typical concert, the experience was nothing short of transformative. The protest, raw and unscripted, had evolved into an integral part of the performance, a moment that blurred the lines between art and activism. As Beyoncé sang, her voice carrying the weight of truth and the promise of change, the crowd was divided yet undeniably moved. The concert became a living, breathing manifesto, a rallying point for both supporters of her cause and critics who remained unconvinced. In the hours following the performance, media outlets around the world dissected every facet of the event. Analysts debated whether Beyoncé's protest had been a spontaneous outburst or a premeditated act of political theater. Editorials ranged from lauding her as a fearless leader unafraid to challenge the status quo, to condemning the disruption as a misguided exploitation of a global platform. News channels replayed segments of the live broadcast, scrutinizing her body language, the fervor in her voice, and the polarized reactions from the audience. Talk shows and online panels were abuzz, hosting heated discussions that pitted supporters against detractors in a battle of ideologies. Social media, too, became a battleground. Influencers, activists, and even politicians took to Twitter and Instagram, each offering their own interpretation of what had transpired. Some posts called for peaceful demonstrations and policy changes, inspired by Beyoncé's impassioned words. Others criticized her for mixing entertainment with politics, arguing that the sacred space of a concert should remain apolitical. Memes and parody videos emerged, turning the event into a cultural phenomenon that transcended traditional political discourse. Yet amid the clamor of opinions, one undeniable truth remained: Beyoncé had managed to capture the world's attention like never before. Her protest was a powerful reminder that in an era defined by division and digital echo chambers, the voice of a single, influential artist could disrupt the narrative and challenge the deeply entrenched power structures. In interviews conducted in the days that followed, Beyoncé explained that her actions were driven by a deep sense of responsibility. "I believe that art has the power to heal, to provoke thought, and to inspire change," she said in a measured interview with a leading news network. "Tonight was not just a performance, it was a call to action. I wanted to remind everyone that we cannot afford to be silent in the face of injustice." As the dust settled and the immediate frenzy began to fade, the legacy of that night endured. The International Gala became a landmark moment in the annals of live performance, cited in academic papers, political debates, and cultural retrospectives alike. For many, it symbolized a turning point, a moment when the boundaries between celebrity and activism blurred, when the stage became a platform for challenging societal norms. In the months that followed, Beyoncé's protest inspired a wave of artistic expression and grassroots activism, with people organizing community forums, art installations, and public demonstrations that echoed the themes she had so boldly articulated. Critics and supporters continued to debate the incident's implications. Some argued that the protest had undermined the spirit of the event, while others maintained that it was precisely this kind of fearless confrontation that the world needed. Through it all, Beyoncé remained steadfast, channeling both the praise and the criticism into her subsequent work. Her next album, infused with themes of resistance and social justice, broke records and sparked conversations around the globe. In the end, the night of that International Gala was more than just an interrupted concert. It was a vivid snapshot of our times, a moment when a global icon used her platform to confront the pressing issues of the day, when the collision of art, politics, and public sentiment created a ripple effect that transcended the boundaries of entertainment. The chaos that erupted on stage, the live broadcast that captured every heated moment, and the fervent debates that followed all served as a testament to the power of individual voice in a world hungry for change. For Beyoncé, the incident was both a personal revelation and a public milestone. It reinforced her belief that with great influence comes great responsibility, that the stage, whether in a concert hall or on the global news cycle, could be wielded as a tool for both artistic expression and societal transformation. And while opinions on her protest may have remained divided, there was no denying that she had once again redefined what it meant to be a modern artist, a leader unafraid to confront the status quo and galvanize a generation to speak out. Even as time moved on, and the immediate uproar gradually settled into memory, the legacy of that fateful night lived on. It became a case study in the power of live performance to effect change, a reminder that in the realm of art and politics, the most memorable moments are often those that defy expectations and challenge our perceptions of what is possible. In the quiet aftermath, as Beyoncé prepared for her next performance and the world slowly resumed its daily rhythm, one thing was clear: the lines between the stage and the arena of public discourse had been irrevocably blurred. And in that blurred space, where creativity met controversy, the seeds of future revolution were sown: one impassioned speech, one unforgettable moment at a gala, and one relentless call to stand up for what is right.